Good evening, everyone. This week's parsha is Parshas Nasso. Excuse me 1 second. That's better. This week's parsha is Parshas Nasso, Tavshin Pei Beis. And we will begin tonight's Drasha at Parakeh, chapter 5, Pasuk Tes, verse 9. V'chol teruma v'chol kodshe b'nei Yisrael, and all that is raised up of all of the holies of the Jewish people, asher yakrivu laKohen, that they shall offer to the Kohen, they shall bring to the Kohen, lo yiyeh, it shall be his. So again, all that is raised up of all of the holies that the children of Israel bring to the Kohen, it shall be his. What are we referring to here when we talk about truma, something that's separated or raised, that the Jewish people bring to the Kohen? Rashi says that the word truma, you might have thought, refers to the amount of grain, of the new grain, of our new grains that we give to a Kohen. Of our grain, we have to separate what's called truma to the Kohen. After that, a tenth of what's left after what we give to the Kohen goes to the Levi. So here it talks about teruma. It says the teruma belongs to the Kohen, but it talks about a teruma, a separation, or something raised up, that the Jewish people bring to the Kohen. And Rashi says the Jewish people don't bring truma, the truma grain, to a Kohen. Rather, he comes to get it. So the Torah must be referring to something else here when we're talking about a teruma separation the Jewish people bring to the Kohen. Therefore, Rashi says it's referring to bikurim. Bikurim are the first fruits that we bring to the Beis HaMikdash, of the Holy Temple, and those are given to the Kohen there. So they are brought to the Kohen at the temple. Those bikurim that are brought to the Kohen at the Beis HaMikdash, the Pasuk here is saying, the Torah is teaching us, lo yiyeh, it belongs to him. Now we continue to the next pasuk, pasuk Yud, verse 10. V'ish asher kadashav lo yiyu. A man's holy things, v'ish es kadashav, a man his holy things, lo yiyu, they shall be his. Ish asher yiten la kohen, that what a man gives to a kohen, lo yiyeh, it shall be his. So again, a man's holy things shall be his. What a man gives to a Kohen, it shall be his. Something's missing here. It sounds like the holy articles will be his. Is his mean the man, the Kohen? Then it says, and that which is given to the Kohen shall be his. Who's his? His own, the Kohen? So Rashi comments here that what the pasuk means is the following. We know the Torah tells us we have certain gifts, certain things from our grain, certain portions from our grains we have to give to the Kohen, to the Levi. I might think that they can come and take it by force. Any Kohen can walk up and just take that truma, and the Levi can take that meiser, the tenth. It's called the tenth is called meiser. Whether you want to give it to him or not, they can just come and take it. Therefore, and that the Torah teaches us, v'ish es kadashav lo yiyu. The holy things of a man, they are his. His meaning, his in the sense that it's up to him to whom he wants to give it to. So he's got to give it for the Kohen. He's got to give it to the Levi. He cannot hold it back for himself. But it's up to him which Kohen or which Levi he wants to give it to. That's what it means. And his holies, meaning the holy things that he has to separate and actually give away, lo yeah, they're to him, they're his, in the sense that he decides who gets them. And then the next part, okay. And then okay. Now, Rashi then tells us a Midrashic interpretation to what it means, a man, that his holy things will be to him. It means the following. If you hold back the tenth that you're supposed to give to the Levi, if you hold it back and don't give it to the Levi, lo yu amasris, they will be his. What does that mean? Sov shein sadeu oise ela echad me'asara shois lemud alasais. The end result will be that your field will only produce 1/10 of what it used to produce in the past. The Torah is giving a warning. A man his holy articles, they'll be to him. If you hold back your holy articles, you hold back the 10th of the grain that you're supposed to give to the Levi, lo yiyeh, it'll be to him. It'll be to you. You'll be left with a 10th. You'll be left with only a 10th of what your crops have usually been. The next part of the pasuk that says, "And a man that will give to the Kohen shall be to him." The Medrash explains that means that which you give to the Kohen, what he is deserving of, and you didn't hold it back, lo yiyeh, it'll be to him. What will be to him? Mammon harbe, wealth. The reward for giving to the Kohen and to the Levi, that which he's supposed to get, the reward for that is wealth. So this is the midrashic interpretation that Rashi gives to this verse. That Isha's kadashov lo yiyu, his holy objects will be to him. Actually, the midrashic interpretation on that part of the pasuk is a warning that if you don't give the 10th, you'll only be left with a 10th, and that which you give to the Kohen will be to you means you'll have much wealth. The Aznaim the Torah, the commentary on the Torah by Rav Zalman Sorotzkin, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, blessed memory, he gave his own Amalek interpretation to what the Torah is telling us here when it says that the whole man's holy objects will be to him, and that which you give to the Kohen will be to him. And he explained it with the following parable. There was a king who had a minister, a righteous man, who was very successful and wealthy, and he drew the jealousy of the other ministers. And behind his back, they accused him in front of the king. They accused him of becoming wealthy off the coffers of the king. He was a minister, he had access, and that, you know why he was so wealthy? Because of the fact that he was stealing from the king's treasury. Now, the king knew this minister was very righteous, and he didn't believe it. But not being able to withstand all the pressure from the other ministers, he agreed to investigate. So he called in the minister and asked him to state the value of his estate. How much is he worth? And the answer that the minister gave alarmed the king, because the answer was a large number, but it was way below what was the obvious value of what this minister owned. And before the minister was given a chance to explain what he meant, the king became so angry that he threw this minister into jail and confiscated his estate. On the day of the trial, the king angrily asked the minister how he could have so blatantly lied about the value of his estate. And the minister finally had a chance to explain himself. He explained, "Your Highness, my answer to you was the absolute truth. This is how I calculate my wealth. I have a ledger of all the money that I have given to charity. Every gift I make is recorded with the date on which it was given with the amount. The heavenly reward of those monies is my true wealth, because those profits are mine for eternity. No one can take it away from me. My material wealth, on the other hand, can disappear in a second, as has been clearly seen. When you ask me for the value of my estate, I answered you based on the numbers recorded in that ledger, because that is the true value of my estate." The king had a ledger brought to him, and the value that the minister had told him was the total number of donations recorded in that ledger. That was this man's true estate. And with that, the king returned his property to him, restated him to his position. So Zalman Sorotzkin said, this is what the Torah means when it says, what a man gives to the Kohen will be to him. The money you give away for a mitzvah, the money that a man gives away for a mitzvah will be to him. That will be his true estate. That will give him a reward that no one can take away from him. Lo yiyeh, the money you give away for mitzvah, that's yours. No one can take it away. Tzedakah is a great investment, because what you get from tzedakah is something that is eternal. No one can take it away from you. That is your true estate. Have a wonderful Shabbos.